Alright, continuing on with the magic items, let's look at the Barrier Tattoo, the Bell Branch, the Blood Fury Tattoo. That's going to be a popular one there. Bloodwell Vial, Cauldron of Rebirth, Coiling Grasp Tattoo, and the Crook of Rao. Big artifact right there. So checking out these magic items right here at the top, we first got the Barrier Tattoo. This thing's going to basically act as armor for someone. So they give you the same stuff about tattoo attunement they do in all the others. It's the same little paragraph you'll see at the first of each one, nothing different there. And then look at protection. Now notice while you're not wearing armor, the tattoo grants you an armor class depending on the tattoo's rarity as shown below. And this rarity of an item is a common theme with a lot of these items here. So you can use a shield and still gain this benefit. So if the rarity is uncommon, 12 plus your dex modifier, be okay. Rare, 15 plus it with a max of 2. She might have up to a 17, and the very rare is an 18. And don't forget you could use a shield too. So you could have a 20 armor class with the very rare carrying a shield. That's very good. So again, when you look at tattoos, they've got some nice ones, and that Barrier Tattoo would be a great one for many different classes. Next we have the Bell Branch. Here we got a rare item, requires attunement by Druid or Warlock. So again, we see that with a lot of these items, how they're class specific. This silver implement is shaped like a tree branch and is strung with small golden bells. The branch is a spell casting focus for your spells while you hold it. So we see objects being spell casting focus for different classes over and over. The branch has 3 charges and it regains 1d3 expended charges at dawn. It's another thing you see with a lot of these. And you can use the charges in the following ways while you're holding it. As a bonus action, always good to see the bonus actions, you can expend 1 charge to detect the presence of aberrations, celestials, constructs, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within 60 feet. I think that's kind of odd, 60 feet. They're within 60 feet of you. You probably already know it, but maybe not. If such creatures are present and don't have total cover from you, the bells ring softly, their tone indicating the creature type that you ask for is present. As an action, you can expend 1 charge to cast protection from evil and good. So that's a good little extra right there. Now we got another tattoo, the Blood Fury Tattoo. Now notice this one's legendary, so it's a pretty strong one. Produced by a special needle, you get the same stuff as before, how eventually it'll become the ink. Same thing they have under tattoo attunement that they usually do. Bloodthirsty Strikes. The tattoo has 10 charges and it regains all expended charges at dawn, as you would expect. While the tattoo's on your skin, you gain the following benefits. First, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend a charge to deal an extra 4d6 necrotic damage to the target, and you regain a number of hit points equal to the damage dealt. So look at that. This thing's got 10 charges. That's a total of 40 d6s in necrotic damage, and it's going to put healing right back on you at the same time. That is a big tattoo. When a creature you can see damages you, you can expend a charge and use your reaction to make a melee attack against that creature with advantage on the attack roll. So that's not bad, but the first option is great. Tell me who wouldn't want to have this one right here, especially with all the melee. Next here we have the Bloodwell Vial. So here's one of those that can have a +1, 2, or 3 added to it, depending on its rarity, as you see before. Requires attunement by a sorcerer. To attune to this vial, you must place a few drops of your blood into it. The vial can't be opened while your attunement to it lasts. If your attunement to the vial ends, the contained blood turns to ash. You can use the vial as a spell casting focus for your spells while wearing or holding it, and you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls and to the saving throw DCs of your sorcerer spells. So this is another thing common we see with a lot of items here for specific classes. The bonus is determined by the vial's rarity, 1, 2, or 3. In addition, when you roll any hit dice to recover hit points, while you're carrying the vial, you can regain 5 sorcery points. This property of the vial can't be used again until the next dawn, so that's a great one for the sorcerer right there. Next we have the Cauldron of Rebirth. Very rare item, has to be attuned by a druid or a warlock. Odd combination there. This tiny pot bears relief scenes of heroes on its cast iron sides. You can use the cauldron as a spell casting focus for your druid spells, and it functions as a suitable component for the scrying spell. When you finish a long rest, You can use the cauldron to create a potion of greater healing. Those are always nice. The potion lasts for 24 hours, then loses its magic if not consumed. As an action, you can cause the cauldron to grow large enough for a medium creature, so hold just about anybody you'd have in your party, to crouch within. You can revert the cauldron to its normal size as an action, harmlessly shunning anything that can fit inside to the nearest unoccupied space. If you place the corpse of a humanoid into the cauldron and cover the corpse with 200 pounds, let's jump to the next page right here, of salt, which costs 10 gold piece for at least 8 hours, the salt is consumed and the creature returns to life as if raised dead was cast on it at the next dawn. Once used, this property can't be used again for 7 days, so once a week you get a raised dead spell right there. Next we have the Coiling Grasp Tattoo. Now, this one's uncommon right here. So you get the usual stuff about attunement, nothing different there, and then tell you what it does. Grasping tendrils. While the tattoo is on your skin, you can, as an action, cause the tattoo to extrude into inky tendrils which reach out for a creature you can see within 15 feet. So it's got a long reach. The creature must succeed on a DC 14 strength saving throw or take 3d6 force damage and be grappled. So that's good. As an action, the creature can escape the grapple by succeeding on a DC 14 strength athletics or a dexterity acrobatics check. Something with a low strength or low dex is going to hold them pretty well. The grapple also ends if you halt it, no action required, or if the creature is ever more than 15 feet away from you, or if you use this tattoo on a different creature. So that one's good for grappling and some damage. Then we have the Crook of Rao Artifact. This one's like the other artifacts, has a lot of powers associated with it. Ages ago, the serene god Rao created a tool to shield his fledgling faithful agents, against the evils of the lower planes. So all those faithful to him, he was trying to protect them against these devils and such. Yet as eons passed, mortals developed their own methods of dealing with existential threats, and the Crook was largely forgotten. In recent age, the Crook of Rao was rediscovered and leveraged against the rising power of the witch queen Igwolf, which notice is one of the names of Tasha. Although she was defeated, Igwolf managed to damage the Crook during the battle, infecting it with an insidious curse and the potential for future victory. In the aftermath, the Crook was again lost. Occasionally it reappears, but the famed artifact is not what it was. It's got that curse on it. Whether or not the artifact's bearers realize its full threat, few risk using the Crook of Rao, potentially for the last time. So it's got some random properties, just as you would expect from an artifact. You go to the DM's guide, pick up a couple of minor beneficial properties, one major, and then a minor detrimental. And there's a picture of it right down there at the bottom. Pretty fancy looking. So what else does this thing do? Again, as an artifact, you would expect quite a bit. So up here at the top, they mention spells. The Crook has 6 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells with a save DC of 18, so pretty good. So you can get Aura of Life, that'll use up 2 charges. Aura of Purity, 2 charges. Banishment, just 1. Beacon of Hope, 1 charge. Mass Cure Wounds, 3. The Crook regains 1d6 expended charges at dawn, just as you would expect. Then they have this absolute banishment. While you are attuned to the Crook and holding it, you can spend 10 minutes to banish, get this, not one, but all but the mightiest fiends within 1 mile of you. So banish everything within 1 mile. Any fiend with a challenge rating of 19 or higher is unaffected. So they're not kidding when they say all but the mightiest of fiends. Each banished fiend is sent back to its home plane and can't return to the plane the Crook of Rao banished it from for 100 years. Notice there's no mention of a saving throw in any way. That sounds like an artifact. Then you have this failing matrix. Whenever the Crook of Rao's absolute banishment property is used, or when its last charge is expended, you have to roll on this table. Any creatures conjured as a result of this effect appear in random unoccupied spaces within 60 feet of you, and they're not under your control. So look at that right there. Anytime you use this very powerful property, or if you use up the last charge, look what it does. It may do the opposite of what you would expect and actually summon some devils or demons here. So notice the roll here. You might get a portal to a random plane opening. It'll close after 5 minutes. You might summon imps, quasits, succubi, incubi, barbed devils, rocks, and the list goes on. But look at this last one. 91 to 100, there's a 1 in 10 chance you'll get this Tasha's curse. Now, what is this curse? When the crook was last used against Igwolf, again that's her, Tasha, the Witch Queen lashed out at the artifact, infecting its magical matrix. Over the years, this curse has spread within the crook, threatening to violently pervert its ancient magic. If this occurs, the Crook of Rao, as it is currently known, is destroyed. Its magical matrix will invert and explode into a 50-foot diameter portal. That's a big hole. This portal functions as a permanent gate spell. Look at the word permanent, cast by Igwolf. The gate then, once per round, on initiative count 20, audibly speaks a fiend's name in Igwolf's voice, doing so until the gate calls on every fiend ever banished by the Crook of Rao. If the fiend still exists, it's drawn through the gate. This process takes 18 years to complete, at the end of which the gate becomes a permanent portal to, is that Pazunia, the first layer of the abyss. So you talk about setting you up for a high-level campaign right here. How about this crook becomes activated in this way, and all these demons and devils start to step back through it. And again, it takes a long time for all this to be complete, and it's going to recall every single one of them. Destroying or repairing the crook, so they tell you how to fix it. The Crook of Rao can either be destroyed or repaired, that would be great, by journeying to Mount Celestia and obtaining a tear from the eternally serene god Rao. One way to make the emotionless god cry would be to reunite Rao with the spirit of his first worshipper who sought revelations beyond the multiverse long ago. So there's your task right there. The crook dissolves if immersed in the god's tear for a year and a day. If washed in the tear daily for 30 days, the crook loses its failing matrix property. In other words, it goes back to being what it was before. It doesn't have this curse on it anymore. So that is a great setup for an artifact and a campaign to find it, fix it, whatever you want to do with it right there. So great idea with this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, good luck and good gaming.